Hello, humans, and welcome to another episode of Gen X Gamer. Who would you rather be, DSP or Review Tech USA? Guys, this is when YouTube becomes a midlife crisis. This is when the algorithm forgets you. Now, for those of you old heads out there, and many people remember that have been around YouTube for a while, these guys used to get a lot of views back in the day. And that was way back in the day. Guys, it's sad that, a whole generation of people have only known these men as lolcows. Right? You know what? Maybe it's closer to two by now. Who knows? It's been that long. Because the sad thing about YouTube is that it doesn't offer a 401k. And it doesn't tell you when it's time to go. Now, you can name countless creators that have, gone, made their money and left. They had an exit plan, when it's no longer working. They still have their jobs, they still have their education, they still have whatever they had. That's not the case for these two. No. These guys at this age, right, they're having a midlife crisis that you can watch in real time. These two men, which are older men, middle-aged men, you see them and they're still chasing what's quote-unquote relevant in order to stay relevant. But they fail to see that that's a young person's game. Some people have a hard time accepting that they're getting older, right? They don't age gracefully. They don't embrace being a grandpa or a dad, or what have you. They have to be the center of the story. Always. They have to be the protagonist. And as you get older, that's not the case. That as you get older, the protagonist in your life become your kids, become your grandkids, and you're the supporting character. And you can be the best supporting character that you can, and it will enrich your life and it'll make you grow, right, by serving others. But that's not the case for these men. Not at all. Behind every daily upload, guys, when these guys are uploading, and they're on the internet so much that you can see what happens when you're tied to YouTube so much that every time you upload, you don't make time for education, right? You don't make time for making investments. There's no time for having a backup plan. There's no time for personal growth, right? That there is no backup plan. That's all they spend their time doing is trying to become YouTube famous, and they actually really just pissed away a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Not all creators have done that, right? Like, for example, Leafy. Right? Leafy took his money and ran when it wasn't relevant anymore, when YouTube didn't want him anymore. That's fine. He had made millions of dollars. He's out of here. You could say the same things for other creators that have taken the money they made, like, for example, Gaming Historian, and you can name others, right? Right off the bat, where they made great content for a while, and once they saw the writing in the wall that it wasn't going to, pay as well as what they could earn through other things, they left. It was no longer worth it because you do have to sacrifice education, time, investment, personal growth, most of all, right? And these guys banked it all in one platform, whatever platform they were on. And they lost when the algorithm stopped caring. People telling them the truth now become their enemies, or detractors, whatever you call them. But I always tell you, detractors have some of the best advice, right? Because detractors look for what you're doing wrong, right? They'll point it out before anybody else. And sometimes what happens with your friends will tell you what you want to hear, right? Detractors will point out your worst mistakes, and you can improve on those if they're actually true. I mean, some people could just be crapping on you for the sake of crapping on you. But in this case, a lot of what detractors are telling these men is right. It's just too much. I mean, it's enjoyable to watch, right? This happened to other people. But we know people in our lives that this is happening to them in other areas. When I see friends that still go out and they're still drinking, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Trust me, I did that for a long time, probably longer than I should have. But then at some point, it has to stop. You have to you have to move on with life. Yes, it's fun, but it's empty, right? It doesn't fulfill you as a human being. But what does the future hold? What can be their future? This is what it looks like when somebody mistakes attention for purpose. They're two different things. And these guys lost both. They really did. When you neglect your personal development, financial literacy and self-reflection, and this is for any pursuit, guys. This can happen pursuing anything. You're going to crash. Once again, tell me, what is it that you envy in these guys' lives? What would you have in your own personal life? Right? And it's sad to see that these guys are willing to even make that part of their content. Right? They are aware that this is happening to them. But they know that also it's going to get them attention. And they're willing, more than happily willing, to become that type of attention for other people, as long as they're getting clicks on YouTube. It doesn't matter. I mean, this is the nature of YouTube brain. This is the nature of the algorithm. Man, what a sad ending to human beings. It's going to be funny, right? I mean, we get to laugh at it. We get to point it out. But at the end of the day, I think it's really a tragedy. Two individuals who have arrested development, they stop growing at some point in their lives, and it's never going to get any better. And at this point, they have no other choices that just to be who they are. Because where are you going to go? Right? How are you going to enter the job market as these guys? You can't. DSP is not going to make $84,000 to $120,000 anywhere for doing anything. And Review Tech is not going to make whatever the hell he makes doing anything. When I first heard of these guys, Phil was leaving he had gotten fired from a helicopter company or something like that. That his dad got him a job in, so he's never actually had like a real freaking job. That he went on and got on his own. And Review Tech USA was the manager, I think, of a gym. And at first I heard that, I was like, what the hell? This guy? So these are the type of individuals that we're talking about. Oh man, how long are they going to go? I don't know. I mean, that's just the thing with these guys. It's like driving a car that's running out of gas and already hit E, and you're just trying to see how far it will go. That's what we're watching here, a tragedy in real time. And you know what? These guys are going to milk it for all it's worth. They don't care. The only thing they care about is the views. Oh well. All right, guys. Thank you for watching me. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will catch you on the next one. Take care.